Good morning and welcome to Crawl or No Crawl. This is Carolyn Holzman, and I've got a full, you would think on an observation day there wouldn't be that many cool things to talk about. Au contraire. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and get with the program. Where is it? Here we are. Okay, so today, I'm just going to combine Saturday and Sunday into today. So this is 54, 55 of the Crawl or No Crawl Index Report. And there's a link. I'll put a link into the where you can find this information. It's on one of the pages on the site, and or you could search for it, Google Index Detector, and it's the first result. All right, so for today, observation day. I did say that I would update you on the Search Console inspection of Friday's test page. Now, what I'm showing here, I guess, is the next week's tab, because I make a new one on Sunday. So here we go. As you can see, we had like, big day here, but on the test days, we didn't get a lot of indexation until Thursday afternoon. And that's when it looked like Google is taking in new content, pushing something out, and then finally catching up on the new content. So the Friday page on the 8th is the only one that is currently available to be indexed. So that's why these are red, because so far it has not indexed, but we just had, and I will talk a little bit about that. I had kind of predicted that there would be a Search Console coverage update on Friday, and it did not happen on Friday. It happened late Saturday night. So I said at the time on Friday's report that I would go back and take a look at it and see, did the Search Console reflect what the plugin and the server log had indicated as far as date and time. It did. Yay. So it kind of looks like they do freeze new information in the Search Console prior to a coverage update. Now, I don't know what else they were doing, but I might have an idea, and I'll share that here in just a little bit. In general, so this is my new game, right? In general, I started seeing two different Google desktop bots, and one crawls the directive files, the ads.txt files, robots, and sitemaps. And occasionally, it'll do an HTML crawl. And today, only one of the two possible desktop bots had arrived, and it did indeed restrict itself to those files, along with one HTML crawl and one crawl where, it made a beeline for Contact Us page on a site. And I think that that's a trust signal play. So even for SEO testers, I recommend you put a Contact Us page as well as privacy, and I often include terms of service. All right, so as far as the bots themselves, there were 10 desktop, 4 mobile, and that's a little bot low. So the mobile bot did today like it has been doing. They don't go to the directive files. They stay mostly in the render crawls and validation, and where they check the subdomain, is it www or not, or is there a trailing slash? All right, there were 18 feed fetcher files. Those are all related to Googlebot. Google News sites. So going to Bing, there were 17 Bing records, all desktop, no mobile. And I am still seeing different Bing IP bots, IP address. It's a Bing bot, but with different IP addresses. And they do seem to crawl different file types. Some do sitemaps and some do robots. And there were no Bing previews, but DuckDuckGo favicon made a nice showing of 9. And it did favor favicon image, but I saw it also do a few of the refresh refresh HTML calls, no render. All right, so here's what I want to share with you. And this is why I think it might be a something related to Search Console. So this is just an example of a search. And so it went down here, and often we click these little three dots here, and it takes us to a little information page, this thing. Now, looking at this, there's nothing you would know just by looking at this, but as a comparison look, very often down here on the bottom right was, a cache record. Now, I'm aware that there are ways where websites and other directive files on those sites can say, don't add us into your cache. The problem is I can't find any result that shows me the cached version. And that to me is the big deal. So if I click on, let's say more about this page, these have started to show up. So what are these? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like it's an explanation about what's going on, things related to the domain, obviously topics, things like that. So I think there's a lot here to unpack, but it does seem that for the first time, these little dots here are not offering the cache version of the page. And I use this in this test because I'm always looking for the cache date of the test pages. And what you would do is you would see it and it'd have a little thing that would say, this is a snapshot. I would show you one, but I can't find one. Okay, so if anybody out there sees one, please, if you wouldn't mind, share that in the comments. And I would love to be proved wrong on this, that it's something that's temporary, maybe a hiccup or something. But I can imagine that it takes a lot of resources to store the cache version of every single page on the internet. All right, well, that's it for crawl or no crawl. And I will see you tomorrow. Just remember to subscribe. Oh, one other thing. This week's Confessions of an SEO is going to be a first. Not really an interview, more like a confessions conversation about something that potentially could be devastating to about 1% of the sites that use the Google parameter tool that is now being closed down in a couple of weeks. Ted Kavaitis is going to come on and we're going to talk about how it might not be as benign as that announcement from Google made it out to be, at least not to some. So if you haven't caught up on Confessions, last week's episode was about a philosophical question about things that happen when belief and data collide. The links are in the description. Thanks for adding this to your day, and I will see you tomorrow.